Have you guys worked on open source projects? Imagine an open source bounty platform which runs on a blockchain network. That is what GitCoin is all about. Let's see what is GitCoin and how is it leveraging the open source platform in order to power the open source community. Let's get started.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss any update from Tech Primers.
GitCoin, as the name suggests, which is almost similar to Bitcoin, is not a cryptocurrency. However, GitCoin is an open source bounty platform which runs on the Ethereum blockchain. It facilitates a space which allows the open source developers to get paid for their work by contributing to a particular open source project. And in return, the open source projects get you as a developer who contributes to that particular project. Right now, if you see, it's so difficult to identify an open source project and work on it, and then getting an incentive is a big deal because for open source projects, there is no incentive at all. What Gitcoin provides is a platform to provide incentives to these developers in the form of open source projects. If you had already contributed to open source projects, you know that open source projects had a problem of incentives because these projects usually are worked on by a couple of developers or maybe few more. And over a period of time, if let's say the developer did not have the mindset to upgrade or maintain that particular project, it just fizzles out. And most of the open source projects are in a stale state. This is due to the economic value associated with the work for that particular open source project developer. Gitcoin is helping you in solving the problem for open source developers by getting proper incentives, by having a proper repo maintainer who has funds which are allocated to a particular open source project. And these funds are now monetized by the open source contributor based on their work. Let's take a real time example of a GitHub project. Let's say I have a project called Stock Price Viewer, and you notice that there are lots of issues raised by people. Let's imagine that I'm not able to solve this problem, and I don't have the time in order to look at these issues and go ahead and fixing them. What I do is I just put in some money into this particular open source project in order to maintain this particular project. Or I go to a central funding unit which provides me some funds in order to manage this particular open source project. So what I can do is I can go to GitHub and get a particular issue and use that particular issue, and I can raise a piece of work inside Gitcoin. The issue explorer in the Gitcoin shows you the different works which has been created based on an issue from GitHub. So GitHub acts as the source of truth for Gitcoin so that all these issues from GitHub has been integrated as a work inside Gitcoin by creating a smart contract. Let's take an example of this particular option here. So these are different bounties which are available. So if you want to work on a particular open source project, you can go here and then get some incentives out of it. So let's take an example of this particular project, the share kit, complete the share kit sign in example. So this is a GitHub project, which is an open source project, and the issue is to fix this particular problem. So complete the tutorial in the share kit, read me whatever, right? So these are the different descriptions which has been given. And once this issue has been raised as a contract inside the Gitcoin, you will be provided with an incentive. So the developer who is going to finish this particular project will be getting an incentive of 217 USD or 2.014 Ethereum coins. So let's say I am a developer and I look at this particular issue, I can apply for start of work. So once I trigger the start work, a request will be sent to the creator of this particular issue. Or if let's say I want to contribute some money to this particular open source project and for this particular issue, let's say I raise this particular issue, I can even contribute to fix this particular issue. Though the project is maintained by an open source contributor or a creator, I can even contribute for this particular issue and the developer will get paid for this particular issue. So if let's say I start the work here or the creator has triggered the start of work once I had assigned for it. So if you see here, there are so many people who had worked on it and there was some tips and given to these developers, right, for the by the creator. So once your issue is like started, you can see some different flags here showing different statuses. And once you have the issues resolved, you can raise a pull request, and these pull requests will be approved by the creator. And once the issues are resolved, so you will be getting back the money, whatever is incentivized here. So GitCoin is a platform for the open source developers in order to fund some money out of the open source projects, because currently the major problem which open source projects face are developers, because developers are not getting paid for their open source projects, so they don't even care about maintaining that because there is no funding associated with the project. So Gitcoin is going to solve this problem of open source developers and connecting them with the monetization platform, which is powered by the Ethereum blockchain. This is a very good use case of how you can use a blockchain and integrate with open source community via GitHub. If you work on open source projects, you can definitely go and check Gitcoin and you can get paid via Gitcoin. There is a smart contract on every issue which has been created inside the Gitcoins. And if you're a very good open source contributor, you can go and take a look at projects which are there and you'll be getting paid based on these contracts which are created for that particular GitHub issue. I hope you found this particular video interesting. As always, if you like the video, go ahead and like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to it. Meet you again in the next video. Thank you very much.